Hey guys, welcome back. It's grimreaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully you're looking after yourselves and having a great week. I wanted to touch on an interesting topic, which I haven't really gone into before on the channel, but I wanted to kind of give you the perfect guide as a as a late game, end game player on how to always have your account ready for fusions and all the type of events that you want to do within Raidshadowlegends, and a couple of home truths as well. So let's talk about account management in today's video, which is something that I haven't really talked about, but a few people who watch my videos or watch my streams on Twitch knows I always talk about account management very regularly, and bits and bobs. Now, this is mainly aimed at late game players and in game players, free to play, spenders, or even Krakens if they wanted to max out their resources and always maximize for the money that is spent. I'll also go over a couple of packs that I generally do buy on a monthly basis and why I generally buy them. So let's go into today's video. I've made a list here, and this is going to be a interesting topic. Now, I generally always try and maximize my resources as much as possible, and I will also want to talk about the basics that I do as a in-game player or as a super in-game player. I would say I'm definitely on the cuffs because I'm quite high up on Light Arena. There's only a handful of champions that I really need for my account. So let's go into it. Let's talk about the sole purpose. Now, the reason why I'm covering this video is because a lot of people always say to me, "Oh, you're 80 sacreds, 70 sacreds, and you're spending loads of money on the game, blah blah blah." And it's completely false. Honestly, it's completely false. I think after the Narcissus event in February this year, kind of changed my outlook on a lot of things and made me change the way that I play. Now, I've always been good at account management, etc., but this has made me go to the next level. So let's go and cover shots. Now, I've generally done a list on this. Now, it depends if you're a Kraken, mid-game player, etc., and how to manage your resources. But generally, I always like to try and maximize much as possible. So I'm basically not opening shards willy-dilly. I need a reason to open my shards. Now, let's talk about account management, etc. Now, Age of Shards, I'm not really going to cover because Age of Shards you can get with gems if you have a good stash of gems, which we'll get into later in today's video. You can see here I have 131 voids, which I've basically been saving since February this year, and just generally got to the point where I don't want to drop a lot of money on the game for PvP champions, and Narcissus was probably one of the champions that I would have regret if I didn't go for him. So it's definitely one of them ones on how you look at it. Now, just a disclaimer, the only shards I do generally buy are primal shards, so I'm not going to cover in today's video. These are the only shards I generally buy because I'm all about arena, and I generally enjoy the arena and the most PvP content, etc. So let's go into this. I think it's very healthy to always keep a minimum of 20 sacreds and 150 voids. Now, the reason why I would say to keep this as a minimum as an in-game player is this is very healthy for count progression, guaranteed events that you might want to go for. There's definitely been a couple that I've skipped where I think to myself, actually, I should have maybe done that champion, etc. Not so much of a void because Narcissus was the only one I wanted. For example, we got Little Miss Annie going on right now, and I've skipped this completely because I already have her. Plus, she's not really worth the 100 voids in my opinion. Agent Shards, I don't really mind too much. I just use these for fusions and etc. And also, I only really tend to open my sacreds now for fusions. I'm only chasing one non-void champion, and unless I'm close to Mercy, I'm not really gonna go for it on a 15x event, which is obviously, of course, in Harmony. And even then, her resurgent or how much I want her now is starting to go down because I have my Marius now. So that's definitely something I want to talk about. Let's talk about prisms then. So I always do prism events, or get the prism shards generally 99% of the time. I always grab my Curse City. I'm always completing Curse City every month, getting my chest, etc. And you can see here I've got a couple of fragment summons, which again I will talk about Freya later, how I got it for free. Generally, with even with all the naughty behavior from Raidshadowlegends. And you can see here we're stacking these as well. So I stack these in these fusions or see generally how I feel. You can see here as well that we'll keep a couple of these, which we'll talk about shortly. So I generally open these in fusions for like champion chase because it could be 1,000 points, 350 points, or 250 points overall. And then, like for example, this classic fusion that's coming up is going to be like another 250 points, etc. And even a epic here will give me 250 points. You can normally earn between 1 or 2 normally, so that's like a good 500 points. I generally don't open them unless uh, till the weekend when the fusions start, and they normally do tend to overlap. Obviously, if you're lucky enough to get legendary, it's going to be a lot more points as well. Going back to shards as well, I don't actually open shards unless there is some type of rewards. For example, I'm looking for some type of deck of fates or champion chase, etc. Like for example, C, there's just C. I will not open shards. I can do 400 points with my eyes closed. I don't need that, right? So again, maximizing them. I'm only opening my shards if I'm going to get something in return, like ledger tomes, stones, mythical tomes, etc. Right, depending what my account needs or what I've stopped burning. I think that's about it with that. Let me cover the forge then. Like the forge is something as an in-game player, so many people are sleeping on now. Like they've got so much gear, etc., and they generally just don't clear it out. You can see here I have a lot of really good gear. I still clean out my forge every regularly, and you can see the only reason why I have 3,000 pieces right now is generally because I have a load of 3-star gear, which is free silver, which we're going to go into a second. Again, you can summon this as a free. If your mid-game account or early game account, this generally hurts you if you keep this with C because you should be summoning this for your champions to progress your account. So that is one thing that I think as an in-game or late-game player, you definitely could save it for C and get your silver up overall as well. Which we're not going to go over C. It's just about managing your account correctly, getting the fusions completed, and giving yourself an easy life and not having to feel the pressure to spend money. You also can see here, I'm always collecting stones, etc. So again, pretty much the same rule with shards with stones. I only open stones, even if it is a 2x event. If there's no events, I'm not getting anything in return, then I just won't open stones at all. Doesn't matter how often I want it, I want something in return. I don't spend money on stones. You can see that these are what I've kept and earned over a long period of time. I mainly focus on the um, split souls, which is what I'm generally always chasing, and etc. So again, stones are the exact same with shards. Like for example, normally there is a good event when there is like 150 gems and 300 energy that's going quite easy for like 300 points or something like that. And one of the events that they do for stones, I open enough just to grab them, and then I stop because after that it's epic term and a void shard, and the void shard's like 900 points, which you need to get extremely lucky. I've got extremely lucky, and etc. We're talking about gems now. So gems is another juicy factor. You should always be trying to keep as many gems as possible. If you're a low spender or early game, low spender or a free to play, you should always be careful with your gems, and you can never take part in all of the events unless you are willing to smash out your gems, etc. And that is going to be a factor, right, which will make your bill go up, and just start saying to yourself, okay, actually, I can't do all these events. Like I've got energy in my inbox, for example, because I have a little bit of energy, and I'm still thinking to myself, well, I can't do all these events because if I do, I don't want to start it and not finish it, right? So, for example, I focus on Sand Devil, which is something that is really important. And again, this is the only thing that I generally need to do. outside fusions and we don't have enough time to do it. Now, these rewards are good, but again, it's like I can't do this, do Sunday at the same time. There's no prism there. There's only 30 quad, which doesn't really, get me going. And the split souls, I've got nearly 500 anyway. So it's like, do I want to go and smash out a load of gems for them? Not really. So what do I need to look forward to and just start stacking these gems? Obviously, new content's going to drop soon. Being a content creator, I'm always trying to stack my gems, etc. So try and keep minimum of 5,000 gems, which would generally always help you with the fusions. And then the next fusion, you can repair and go again, especially if you have the mini mix pack, etc., which is quite good overall. Energy. Energy is a funny thing. I do a lot of coaching sessions. I do a lot of count takeovers, and about 95% of the time, I'm always seeing people refill, like just have like tons of energy here, and I don't realize they're losing around about 400 energy per day, which I want to remind you is around about 20 runs in Sandel 25 of 20 energy, or it might be 10 runs overall with the super raids. That is a lot of Sand Devil dust and oils, or whatever you want to farm that you are missing on a daily basis over a week. That's going to be nearly 2,000 energy, 2,500 energy that you're just generally wasting, right? Plus whatever you can get overall. You can see in most of my videos recently, I have been keep this low as much as possible. I'm always trying to get rid of it. You will see here, I haven't claimed this, which I'll probably throw in Sand Devil after I've done the video and move on with that. So energy is a big thing. That is how you can see how I've always got just under a billion silver, which we'll get that overall. Silver. Let's talk about silver. Silver is a interesting fact, right? Now, there's a couple of things with silver that you want to take into consideration. Obviously, upgrading your gear outside C events or outside enhancement events is not a good idea, because generally you're going to spend silver and not get nothing in return. I generally would say always gear cleanse your account during fusions, because you have normally free enhancement events, which are quite expensive. You need around about 20 to 30 million silver. So I'd always say try and keep a minimum as a minimum requirement, which is going to be 50 mil silver. So try and keep that as a minimum requirement, which is generally a good thing to do. And that's one thing to take into consideration, which will always help you with that. So roll your gear up to level 8. If it doesn't hit the substats that you want, sell it, move it on. And then again, rinse and repeat. You can see here I have over under a billion silver. Most of my gear is rolled. I've got pieces of gear here ready to be rolled for next enhancement. Again, I don't really do enhancement unless there's fusions going on, and this is generally why I always have so much silver. There is free to play in-game players now that have 1 billion silver or more than me, right? And they don't spend money in this. They might get CC perks, whatever, but there is CC content creators out there that have never spent a penny and have 1 billion silver just because they are doing what I'm suggesting in this today's video. So that's one thing to take into consideration. Now, these are like basic requirements. Obviously, you should always try and finish your faction wars, do faction wars daily, which is probably important just as much as clan boss. Curse City, definitely something I'd push on, and Doom Tower as well. So let's talk about, I guess, advanced account management, which is this is the basic, and this is the now we're talking about the advanced. So we're talking about extra bonuses from like the shops that we can get. For example, we might be able to get extra energy from the shops, which again, if you have 1,000 energy, it's always good to try and pick it up. I try and keep 10,000 coins as much as possible. And again, you can see here, I've picked up a legendary avoid, a couple of silver as well. I'll probably pull up the resistance charms later, maybe a couple of potions. I'm always low on potions, which is a good thing to always stock up on as well. It's worth noting as well, like my free energy will be ready in 7 hours, which will be ready for the fusion. And then you can see here I'm always getting sacred, the legendary tome, uh, the frank charms, which is needed for the forge, the void, the rare tome, which is quite interesting fact because it's really hard to get rare tomes. They're probably like the hardest rare tomes to get as an in-game player. So that's definitely something as well to take into consideration. Brews again, champion trainings, trying to only do champion trainings when there is mainly good rewards. So there was a good champion training where it was a mythical tome going. I did do that. I didn't do the rest of the events because I didn't want to spend too much energy, and I generally got it done over 4 days, getting myself ready to do the fusion as well and do fusion prep and upgrade champions for the right things. So using like epic tomes because I booked out epic champion, which helped with the points. You can see here, legendary tomes are I haven't booked out a legendary champion in ages, not even for C and rare tomes as well, stacking up. These are good things to kind of have. I think you should always try and keep 25 epic tomes, at least 10 legendary books in here, and use this as a good factor and a good baseline to kind of say, okay, this is what we want, this is what we need to do, and etc. With chickens as well, chickens is something you want to try and keep minimum of. I would always say try and keep at least 10 5-star chickens here, and the 4 stars etc. just burn them. They help with champion training. I wouldn't worry about them too much as well. And feast is as I say, try and keep them when you want to upgrade etc. Quite good to use feast during for C, but I don't really need to worry about that. Again, this is a bit more of account management. Again, one thing I would actually recommend to do with Curse City actually is save your energy when you need it. Most of the time you can duck out your energy, etc. here. And I normally do the same with the champion tokens as well, so I don't accidentally click on them. So you can see here, this is energy is ready to go. I will complete this before the end of the rotation, but I want to keep this energy for when I need it, which is again going to be on the fusions. Now, I do want to check my notes quickly because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure we give you guys your uh, a good account management. So, 3 energy, we mentioned you're burning your silver. Gear removal tokens, right? Now, gear removal tokens, I've got a bad habit of wasting these because I accidentally click on them. Gear removal tokens, try and keep these and use these at a good time when you want to use it to save silver. For example, I don't know, when you're swapping gear around for Hydra, maybe to do your Hydra runs or etc. Try keep a few of them. So, for example, I still have the 3 day, which has been here. I think it was a promo code or something, which is generally a good way. So you can see here, I do buy energy. I won't hide it. But you can see here, there's not a lot of energy there, right? So let's talk about the packs that we do buy, which is cannot be for the free to play, right? But let's talk about the packs I do buy. Obviously, I buy this energy pack, which is costing 246 energy per dollar. Not amazing, but it's probably one of the best energy packs right now in Raid. Again, I only really use this for just trying to stack up for fusions to help me join fusions so we can go pretty hard on the events, etc. to try and get some extra fragments or whatever as well. I obviously buy the gem pack, which is probably the best offer in Raidshadowlegends. So you can see here, this is $20, this is $10. I do buy this every 2 weeks. I'm trying to try get this down to monthly now, just so we can buy these at the same time. And then the same with the Forge Pass, right? Like the Forge Pass is pretty much the pass I do buy because it has all these good stuff in here. Helps with silver as well because of the bonuses. It helps with like getting rank charms, etc., more glyphs, which we all generally need. I'm always trying to push my faction wars as much as possible. And it's literally like probably one of the first things I do overall in my account management on a daily basis that I try to maximize as much as possible. I think I've covered everything generally as a account management. We're talking about this. So let's talk about the basics and a recap. My recommendation is always to keep a minimum of these as a resource: 20 secrets, 120 voids or 150 voids. I think last guaranteed for us is 120, so I'd say keep 150. 30 to 50 million silver minimum, 5,000 gems minimum, previously free energy ready to go, especially for fusions or the type of events that you want to do, for example, dungeon divers, etc., which are always costly. Siva Sea and Doom Tower energy, keep it ready for when you want it, plan it. You can also check the events, etc. 25 epic tomes, 10 legit tomes, gear removals, and burn your energy. Right? They are generally the main ones that you want to focus on. Hopefully, this really helps you. It's dragged out. Apologize that this video has been a bit longer than I wanted, but I generally wanted to go again. Stones, stones, open them on 2x's or keep them for events. I kept a nice big stack of them, and I got Freya for free in the process for that. So, it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's you know, trying to maximize as much as possible, especially with shards, which are very hard. Probably one of the hardest things, other than dungeon divers, to do with for fusions. And again, that's always a good thing to do. You're always ready to go. And if there is event and stuff to do, like I see, you got 10,000 gems. Okay, all right, dungeon divers has a primal. Let's go and do it. Is it worth the investment? Is that something you need? Etc. So it depends on them. I buy primal shards, so I didn't bust my butt or bust my ass for this one primal shard because I didn't see their investment. Burn a ton of energy, probably get a red chicken. Right, and it's just one of them ones and how I felt about it for that one. There wasn't any decent rewards, etc. inspired that was making me want to double dip, so I just focus on the training anyway. That's it from me today. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments, did I miss anything? Is there anything that you'd recommend that I should do personally as well? Which I would generally kind of be curious on what you guys think. That's it from me. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'm Grim Reaper. I'll see you on the next one.